I'm Barbara Lamontagne. I am opposed to approving Worldview's World History A and B textbooks. First of all, I found them to be very lackluster and choppy. In order to read about an event, one has to read the brief overview, chronology, notable people, and glossary. It does not give the student a complete picture easily obtained. Why make it difficult? This is frustrating, discouraging students from learning history. Those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Another issue is the bias against the United States, from slandering General Douglas MacArthur by calling him a racist, to totally omitting President Ronald Reagan's accomplishments in tearing down the Iron Curtain, or even mentioning him at all in the list of notable people. Yet another problem was the glorifying of all people and things communist, while leaving out a few crucial details. Chairman Mao Zedong was lauded, yet his great leap forward led to widespread famine and the death of millions. Joseph Stalin was likewise fated. The book failed to mention that he was, quote, one of the most powerful and murderous dictators in history, his regime of terror causing the death and suffering of tens of millions. Finally, what about the space race? According to the world history text, the space race was won by the USSR in 1957, but that wasn't the space race. A race needs a goal and competitors. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy said, "I believe this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth." 8 years later, America won the race. Neil Armstrong and Apollo 11 are not in the text. In conclusion, these texts are superficial, fraught with errors, biased against our own country, and sadly uninspiring. To spend taxpayers' money on these substandard texts and then hope the teachers can correct them is a grave injustice not only to the taxpayers and the teachers, but especially to the students. Thank you.
Mr. Mercer.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry, Barbara, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you heard any response from the publisher on these questions, or do we have anything else, Madam Chairman, from the publisher on these
No.
comments?
If they have responded, it's well, hello, Mavis. It's been, I was looking for Monica. It's been, as of lunchtime, they were up to date on what had been sent in and what had been posted. I'm not sure where they stand now. We'd have to ask staff.
So you're saying let's go back to calling Douglas MacArthur a racist? Is that a direct quote?
Yes, racist. A direct quote with nothing verifying why they're saying it. And I Googled all over the place trying to find out where they came up with this and found nothing. Also, I personally know some Filipino people, and a nurse friend of mine who's a Filipino has nothing but good to say about General MacArthur and what he did for their country.
And you said it, from my own word, lauded or applaud of Chairman Mao and Joseph Stalin?
Yes. Oh, yes. The wonderful programs that they had for their countries, both of them.
And then the space race?
The space race, according to the book, was won by the USSR in 1957 because they were the first to launch an artificial satellite into outer space. And they say nothing about, well, actually at that time, 57, it was a surprise to America that they had gotten so far along that they could actually launch a spaceship into outer space. And we were not even in a race at that time. It wasn't until 1958 that Eisenhower actually got money to start NASA, and it wasn't until Kennedy came in 1961 that he actually got massive funding for NASA, and we began the race. He set out with that quote.
I remember as a child, I'm getting older, but I thought one of the great speeches of all time was Kennedy. I think over here at Rice University, we will put a man on the moon, and then, of course, he'd already been passed away, but we actually did that. Is my memory fading me? Remember, didn't we put a man on the moon, the United States of America? I look forward to hearing the comments and the corrections from this publisher. Thank you.
Barbara, can you tell us, it's me, the history A and B books are, different links and all of that. I've looked at both, but can you designate which of these comments come from A and which content comes from B? Or
I believe that they were from B.
So
I read through both of them.
All of these are from B or some of them?
I believe they're all from B,
okay.
But I didn't have access to the books when I wrote this, and I had to get it from other people. So these are from the other things that I had written.
Okay, well, that's a starting point. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Elia Mendoza.